begin. Wait, is that Onyx Prime? Hell yeah it is! Midway through the trailer, Orion Pax and D16, past versions of Optimus Prime and Megatron, ventured into a danger-laden cave, only to discover a bunch of ancient Transformers relics inside. One of them is a gigantic winged godlike Transformer, which is believed to be Onyx Prime. He was one of the first 13 Prime Transformers ever created by Primus, in order to defend Cybertron and all of Universe from the apocalyptic villain, Unicron. Known as the Lord of the Beasts, Onyx Prime was one of Primus's most prized creations. Through the use of the triptych mask given to him by Primus, Onyx Prime had the ability to traverse across planets by tapping into the spiritual realm and experience visions from all around. He was the first Transformer to be able to transform into an animalistic form, with his beast form resembling a winged centaur with a bat-like head. Owing to his spiritual ability, Onyx was kind of feared and revered by the other Primes of the 13. Strangely enough, Onyx Prime was friends with the short-tempered Megatronus, the Prime who switched sides and became a villain. D16 meets his guru, Megatronus Prime. This brings us to another scene that shows D16, which is the past version of Megatron, kneeling in front of the gargantuan relic of a Transformer, which fans believe is the above-mentioned Megatronus Prime, or the Fallen. D16 can be seen admiring Megatronus Prime, with particular interest in a piece of its headgear. A closer look reveals this artifact contains a design, which in the present Transformers lore is known as the Decepticon's logo. Another scene reveals a burning version of this artifact, suggesting that D16 may have used it to brand himself as a disciple of Megatronus Prime. In fact, D16 is seen sporting a Decepticon tattoo on his arm from the very beginning. It is possible that inspired by Megatronus' evil past, D16 formed the villainous race of the Decepticons, and when he did, he adopted the Fallen Prime's logo as the emblem of his new army. Perhaps this is also the moment when D16 chose his name as Megatron. In Transformers history, Megatronus was also one of the original 13 Primes who was stripped of his Prime title when he betrayed his Prime brothers, joined hands with Unicron. He came to be known as the Fallen, and the first ever Decepticon, who, in his most threatening form, looked like a metal cage with burning chaos inside. Alpat Trion and the Secret of the Power Core. The Cave of Mysteries also had another surprise in store for fans, that is, Cryptic Cavern, which turns out to be a graveyard of the first Prime. There, the young robots are greeted by another member of the 13, one that is still alive, Alpat Trion. As per the trailer, Alpat Trion gives them a gold star for their bravery on the surface, and hands them 4 power cores, which enable the otherwise bumbling robots to finally unleash their full potential. With their newfound powers, Orion Pax transforms into a truck, Bumblebee into a yellow sports car, Elita 1 into a bulky motorcycle, and D16 into a great tank. In the trailer, Alpat Trion appears to be rusty and moss-laden, which suggests that he has been guarding the Tomb of the Primes for a long time, waiting to hand over the power sources to the worthy successors. Now that Elita 1 says, "Got these powers for a reason, let's use them," Alpat Trion can finally cash out his retirement checks. How cool is Elita 1? Transformers 1 marks Elita 1's big screen debut, and it's absolutely brilliant to see this feisty Transformer in action. She transforms into a Batcycle-ish motorbike, just in a different color that match her armor, and beats the shit out of Decepticon things. It takes Elita 1 just 3 seconds in the trailer to reduce opponent number 1 to mere scraps of metal and use it as a gun to fight opponent number 2. In the Transformers lore, she is the female counterpart of Optimus Prime among the Autobots and a fierce protector of the Cybertronian. Elita 1 has the super unique power of freezing time by generating a force field around her, and we wonder if this ability will be included in the movie. However, implementing her time-stopping abilities exhausts all her other powers. Thus, she uses it as a last resort trump card, only in dire circumstances. Elita 1 is also Optimus Prime's longtime love interest, who dies a grisly death in the Transformers Dark of the Moon Rising Storm comics, putting an end to the Autobot love story. The Quintessence are the baddies of this storyline. The Quintessence are never good news. So, when these guys turned up in the trailer, Orion Pax asked his friends to gear up for an intense alien battle. Towards the end of the trailer, Orion Pax and his friends witness a humongous alien ship descending on the surface of Cybertron, and out comes armies of these Quintessons, which are tentacle green aliens. In the trailer, the Quintesson leader attempts to throttle Sentinel Prime with its predatory vine, which seems like a temporary win, really, as Sentinel Prime is the one to finish finish off the Quintessence menace in the original lore. While the trailer hasn't identified these creatures as Quintessence yet, their anatomy and violent nature speaks volumes about their true lineage. The Quintessence brought upon the Age of Wrath in Cybertron until Sentinel Prime drove them away and heralded in the Golden Age on the planet. Interestingly enough, the Quintessence were the creations of another Prime 13, Quintus Prime. He was the deadly combination of a perfectionist and a scientist, whose artifact, the Ember Stone, gave him the ability to create life. The Quintessence can very well be the ultimate antagonists of Transformers 1, who will attempt to take over a defenseless Cybertron following the death or disappearance of the Prime, and will then hopefully be defeated by the combined efforts of Orion Pax and D16 under the mentorship of Sentinel Prime. Did you miss the Beast Mode Transformer? At around the 226 mark in the trailer, there appears a wolf-like beast transformer that will send a chill down your spine. This deadly creature sports a sharp assortment of teeth and has glowing horns and appendages on its back, kinda like the pink Godzilla. Interestingly enough, this creature seems to be the beast form of Alpat Trion, as was revealed by the recent release of the Transformers toys. This theory checks out because when we first meet Alpat Trion in the trailer, he is visibly injured and covered in moss from years of hibernation within the cave. Later, when the beast wolf appears on the screen, it has the same mossy green and rusty colored hues of cave-dwelling Alpha Trion, who is also one of the oldest living Transformers ever. Arachnid will give you the creep. Look who we have here. A Spidey Decepticon who steals enemy heads as a hobby. We are talking about Arachnid, people. Towards the end of the trailer, this deadly female Transformer floats in the fiery sky against the backdrop of a battle, presumably fighting on the side of Team Decepticon. As a Decepticon who can turn into a spider, Arachnid has 3 pairs of Spidey legs in addition to her usual limbs. Based on the shape and the color scheme of the character, some are even theorizing this entity to be another variation of Arachnid, the Black Arachnia. Either way, her allegiance lies with the Decepticon. In some reality, Arachnid is a torture expert and an assassin who goes solo on her bounty hunting expeditions around the universe and keeps the severed head of the dominant species in jars. Arachnid is perhaps the only Decepticon who can outsmart their leader, Megatron. On various occasions when Megatron was preoccupied, Arachnid has attempted to take charge of the Decepticons but was stopped every time by Megatron's loyal servant, Soundwave. Meet Orion Pax, the rule breaker. The trailer introduces Optimus Prime in a never-before-seen avatar, and it's so refreshing to witness the fun side of this otherwise grumpily wise character. Orion Pax, whose destiny leads him to become the leader of the Autobots in the future, was once just a low-ranking work robot in the deep, dark labyrinths of Cybertron, but one who always had a knack for adventure. As per the trailer, he coaxed D16, his partner in crime, to venture out on the surface and carry jetpacks with them as backup. And oh boy, they sure did land up in trouble of quintessential proportion. We also get to see the first time ever that Optimus Prime turned into his Transformer avatar, losing his head within his torso in the process. However, when things get tough, this joke-cracking, adrenaline-loving Orion Pax transforms into a deadly red and blue truck jetpack and launches fatal attacks at the alien spaceships in aerial battle. His quick transformation from just a work robot to a defender of Cybertron really is in sync with his famous catchphrase, "There's more than meets the eye." Bumblebee wanted to be Badassatron. Fans have seen many versions of Bumblebee, but this one will either make you fall in love with him all over again, or hate him for his silly humor. The trailer documents the first meeting between Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. B was just B127, and Optimus was Orion Pax, simply named B127. B was brainstorming ideas for a new name, and wanted to be called Badassatron, something which cracked up both Optimus and Megatron. From this encounter onward, B127, Orion Pax, and D16 became inseparable buddies, with Elita 1 joining them sometime in the future. At this point, B was far from being the great warrior he eventually became, as he would simply run away in the face of threats faster than a speeding bullet. Former, B actually becomes worthy of the Badassatron moniker with his uber cool face mask, glowy knife hands, and Wolverine-like reflexes. Cybertron is a techno-organic wonderland with mystic wildlife. At times, the trailer almost feels like a Nat Geo documentary of a techno-organic planet, a planet that hasn't been explored in great detail on the big screen so far. Before the Great War devastated the planet, Cybertron was a magnificent hybrid world of organic and inorganic elements, with artificial constructs such as high-rises and bars and cities, which also have quirky little names. We also see some Cybertronian wildlife in the trailer, in the form of deer-like creatures with horns shaped like bunny ears. When Orion Pax and his friends land on the surface world for the first time, these creatures run around the metallic wasteland with their horns glowing bright red, probably in anticipation of some sort of danger. These creatures are soon shot dead by mysterious neon blue energy blast, presumably fired by the Quintessence alien ship, which only shows how dangerous survival is on the Cybertronian surface. The alien ship and Cybertronian train are awesome. We get to see some cool modes of transport in the trailer, the first of which is the Quintessence spacecraft, which is guaranteed to remind you of the mothership from Independence Day. This techno-organic spaceship, which looks like a giant beast in itself, is a grim reminder of what its inhabitants are capable of doing to Cybertron. Next up, the Cybertronian trains are bound to give an average person major motion sickness, as they often change course and take the vertical route, going up against gravity. In the trailer, Orion Pax and his adventure buddies take a train trip to the surface. It's basically a joyride until the vehicle goes off the rails and tosses them up like popcorn. Meet the less expected Transformers from when they were very young. Lastly, let's talk about the less anticipated characters that were spotted in the trailer. Megatron's trusted allies Shockwave, Starscream, and Soundwave have returned, as they make an impactful appearance in the Decepticon throne room. We have saved the best for last, and here's the big reveal. Megatron's trusted Seekers are all set to make an appearance in Transformers 1. We say this because in the final battle scenes of the trailer, the Decepticon Seeker Skywarp can be seen clashing with the Autobot. In the Transformers lore, the Seekers are soldiers with jetpacks in Megatron's army, with Skywarp being the flashiest of them all, always standing out with his amethyst and black collar combo. Skywarp is the only Decepticon who has the ability to teleport, and we wonder if he will implement this particular power in the movie. Skywarp's appearance in the trailer also makes fans hopeful about seeing lesser-known Seekers such as Sunstorm, Redwing, and Acid Storm in action. Marvelous verdict. The trailer reveals that Transformers 1 promises some rich world building with a simple storyline, one that keeps it lighthearted, and yet delves into the history of the Cybertronian. With the animated film all set to hit the theaters in September, we can't wait to decipher how Optimus Prime and Megatron went from being friends to foes, which is the central theme of the movie. With that thought in mind, we are signing off for now, but please share your views on the Transformers 1 trailer in the comment section below. If you liked our video, stay tuned for more Transformers theories and character explorations. See you super soon.